Okay, we're recording now. And again, for the benefit of members of the public, my name is Graham Keady, I'm the town clerk, and Councillor Kathleen Pearson, who is in the top line of my screen, is the town mayor, who will be acting as chairman. We've got some more people waiting. Bear with me. Oh, we're very privileged tonight. He's obviously got nothing better to do during isolation, because we'll have somebody identifying himself as Boris Johnson joining us.
Oh, nice.
So you must be at a loose end tonight. Right. Can I just, for the benefit of the 3 members of the public who've just joined us, just make you aware that this meeting is being recorded. If you don't wish to appear on the recording, please alter your video setting. And if you don't wish to be identified by name, can you also alter your identity setting, please? And again, for the 3 who've just joined us, my name is Graham Keady, I'm the town clerk, and Councillor Kathleen Pearson with the mayoral insignia is the town mayor and will be acting as chairman this evening. That's Pearson, we're ready to roll.
Okay. Item 1.
This is apologies for absence.
Apologies for absence.
I've had 3. Councillor Doris Turner has a Sunderland City Council meeting. Councillor Melanie Thornton has a Sunderland City Council meeting. And Councillor Josh Green has a work commitment this evening. I've had no other apologies. Does council wish to approve those apologies or otherwise?
Madam Mayor, I propose those apologies are adopted.
Thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest from members?
Town clerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the Stevenson's Railway?
No.
It's not coming up.
No.
There's nothing on that. All right, that's fair enough.
Any other declarations of interest or not? None by the looks of it. Okay, Chairman, do you want to move to item 3, public participation?
3, yeah.
Do you want that up to the usual 30
Public
minutes?
Participation. 30 minutes, yes. That's fine. Okay, any members of the public wish to speak? Lindsay?
Yeah. See, can you hear me okay? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You broke up there, but I can hear you now. Yeah.
I wanted to start with if there's been any update regarding the barriers around the parking P car. I don't think Mr. Black is attendance tonight, is he?
Sorry, yeah, you're breaking up, Lindsay.
Is Mr. Blackburn in attendance tonight?
Sorry?
Mr. Blackburn in attendance tonight? No. I just want to say about the barriers around the car park. It's becoming a massive issue regarding the motorbikes and the quads. And something that has to be chased up. Council can put in as a whole, if you can put a request to Sunderland City Council to get some barriers put up. I know Councillor Buick in Rye managed to get them put up within 2 months, and there was money issue, like no money issue, but when we're trying to get them, they said that there's a money issue. So I'm just wondering if you'll be able to do something as a Hetton Town Council whole.
In the park, you mean Cragdale Gardens Park? Yeah.
yeah, around the perimeter. There's a massive ongoing issue, and it's been ongoing for a long, long time, and it's just a matter of time before somebody is seriously injured.
Can I just ask?
Okay.
Councillor Watterson?
Can I just ask Lindsay, are these the quads that are going up onto the golf course, Lindsay, and tearing up the golf course?
They are, yes,
Yeah.
and terrorising the residents
Yes.
of Pearson's estate as well.
Yes, I've heard that there's been some near misses up there with the quads going past, and a few people have had a
There
real
was a
near
car
miss
on the
with them.
field the other day. There was a
A
car
car.
rallying around, yeah, as
Right.
well, because there's no barriers,
Yeah.
and there are certain barriers, but it's not traffic. So I'm just wondering why they've managed to get them. Why can't we in Hetton? Why can't we get something done?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't see why they can't put something up there, whether it be boulders or barriers or whatever, to stop them getting in. Definitely.
Okay. Any other? Is that your lot, Lindsay?
No, it's not me.
Sorry.
No.
No, I didn't think
next
so,
I want
but
to next, I would like to move on to, and I can see there's a lot of my ex-colleagues that's logged in tonight, the closing of Hetton Nursery School. Obviously, there's talk of closing Hetton Nursery School, but they want to build, they're currently building homes everywhere. They currently want to build 86 homes around where I live. It's an extensive list of empty properties, but they want to go ahead and build. I know Hetton Primary are going to get a new school with the nursery class. I'm trying to find out if anybody knows what the issue is, what the plan number is going to be on Hetton Primary in comparison to what the old community nurseries are. I know we're under threat. A few years ago, we campaigned outside the city centre, and I'm just trying to find out if anybody has any further information with regards to it, really. And I know there'll be a lot of other people who want to speak.
Councillor Rome, did you want to speak?
Yes, on this Hetton Nursery issue, I mean, I would like to know how come it takes a report on social media for Hetton Town Council to know that
Yes,
the
definitely.
is planned.
Yeah.
You know what? And
Agreed.
also, we've got all these homes in Hetton Downs, which are shortly to be sold or rented. Where are these children under 5 going to go?
Exactly.
You can't close down one and just open up another. It's just ridiculous. And if it's a matter of underfunding, why? It's a council controlled, initiative, like the libraries and everything. They can't keep closing everything down and expecting the private sector to pick it up. It's privatisation through the back door. And so I'd like to propose that, I don't know if we can have a further meeting about this to try and, or we can work together to get some sort of opposition to this, from Hetton Town Council to make our views known, because I think it's absolutely disgraceful. And I can't believe I only heard about it 2 days ago.
Yeah, I totally
That's
agree
right.
with Councillor
Totally.
Kelvin.
I mean,
Totally
they did get an outstanding report from Ofsted, so I can't understand why.
There
Why
is,
close it?
can I just say that tomorrow there is a cabinet through it.
What time?
I'm not sure. I think it may. No, I haven't got the time for that. It'll be on the website. It'll be on the website when it is, but it's a cabinet discussion.
I mean, I'm absolutely gobsmacked that we haven't been a consultee on this.
No, again, we've been left out of the loop. Yeah. Yeah.
Come in, Madam Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Geddes.
I mean,
Yes, Councillor Geddes, yes, sorry.
So I find it incredible, like most people build up. Your house is coming up now with the decent lane. I think the least that Council was actually, you know, write to the various parties and ask why this is even being, you know, I mean, I don't know how long that nursery's been going on, but on social media today it said 25, 30, maybe longer. And like everybody else figured tonight, I'm a dad. The council found out about this, and I think we should really ask the questions now, you know, straight away as soon as possible. I think it's on. I'm sorry, but things are happening around our disgraceful.
Councillor Rowan, did you want to come back?
Councillor Heron was before me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Councillor
Yes,
Rowan.
I mean, when these Section 106 agreements are made with developers, and for instance, the one down at Broome Hill where the council let Gen 2 off with £80,000, a lot of these 106 contributions were supposed to be contributing towards the education budget. Why haven't some of these monies gone towards keeping Head Nursery going? They shouldn't be underfunded. We've really got to try and I don't know if the public can go online to this cabinet meeting tomorrow and try and get something. I have to go.
Councillor Heron?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you hear us all right there? Thank you. I'll start off by answering Keir's previous question on the school rules. The schools are built around numbers of pupils. The building that they're in was built for the war effort, so from 1939 onwards, and then in 1952, I think it was, when the nursery came in, and it was the first one, I believe, in County Durham. Then at the Education Committee, there was the first nursery school to be brought in. Now, we fought this way back in the late 90s, I think it was, might have been the early 20s. Well, we fought a closure notice for it then, and we won. We succeeded in that because we had seats on bums on seats rather. The government, since, as usual, it's an uneven one as far as local authorities and the private sector is concerned. They must have a head teacher and they must have another qualified teacher on the roll, which increases the cost. With it being an old building, you've got increased costs there alone. Let's start off. It's a fantastic nursery. I've been in it many, many times. It is about 5 years, 6 years since I was last in it. The staff always been exceedingly good, and that hence the agreement on them being outstanding. That's 2 nurseries that come in since that last one was done, since the last time they tried to close Hetton Nursery. And that's where the problem may be. I agree with you, the numbers that's coming in, or they have to take the numbers as is now. And it is losing a lot of money. The local authority has been putting money into it in order to keep it going. But I still think there's a case for keeping that nursery open. As it goes down there, we're going to have a part nursery at Appleton up here, but there'll be an extra one coming down at Hetton's primary school when it's built. But we've also got the new nursery, private nursery in the old Hetton house.
It's been there for a long time though.
So we have got problems in trying to defeat this, but we still need to put the opposition into it and try and sort reasons out why it should be kept open. And from my point of view, simply because of the staff and the numbers of children that's going in there. We need to direct more parents to go into that. That rabbled on a bit.
Town Clerk, did you want to come in before or no? Graham?
Yes, just to mention that a member of the public has told me that the cabinet meeting tomorrow is at 10 o'clock and it's agenda item 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other members of the public? Yes, Mr. Williams.
I don't know if I'm doing this right. Can everyone hear me? I'm
Yeah.
literally in North Wales. Oh, hiya, everyone. I'm not used to technology. So I'm really surprised you can actually hear me. I'm in the hills. Anyway, I just wanted to put a little point across in relation to the nursery. I believe in the next month or so, a couple of months, everyone's going to get bogged down in he said, she said, funding this, funding that. The main priority for all of us is the children.
Yeah.
The children.
Yes.
In COVID-19, we have no stability. We have nothing else left right now apart from looking out for our youngest people that are going to be the future generation. If anything was to come from Hetton Town Council, this meeting is people have lost faith in politics. Let's push together. No parties, no colours, no creeds. Everyone together fighting for what's right for our young people. That's what matters. Sorry, I was getting emotional there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public?
I'd just like to win very quickly to say that I actually, sorry, I can hear myself talk. I actually live in the Durham area, but I send my daughter to Hetton Hall, and when I've actually compared the nurseries, I don't think the facilities in other nurseries are as good as this one. Therefore, if I had other children, I would specifically take them to this nursery as well. So I think from my point of view, even living out of the area, this nursery needs to stay. The facilities and the staff are second to none.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is it possible just for me to come in there as well? It's basically, say my little girl goes to the nursery and has done from 8 months old. She would be in that interim year where there's not another nursery going to be built. And I've actually looked at nurseries within the local authority that I work in, which is Durham, and I work in a mainstream school with a nursery attached. I could have sent my child to a nursery school that's actually on my school site, and I chose not to because of word of mouth of friends and family who sent children to this outstanding nursery school. I think in the middle, as many other people have mentioned, in the middle of a global pandemic, where our children's well-being is now paramount because they've gone through so much, they've had so little social interaction. For some of our children who are in very small isolation bubbles, who are in single parent families like myself, that is the only connection she has with other children and with the outstanding staff. And they have looked after her impeccably.
Yeah. Excellent.
I just think going forward, for a lot of our parents who go to that nursery, a lot are working parents, and for the council to announce this when we are all as key workers and have our responsibilities and are trying to keep a roof over our head, to have a meeting at 10 a.m. when a lot of us will be at work trying to provide for our children, we're not going to be able to get our views heard. And I don't know when we are going to get those heard, but I feel very strongly. I've written to two councillors, Councillor Kevin Johnson and Claire Rotary as well, and I've also emailed Bridget strongly about it. Parents have chosen to send their children from out of area to this school because of its reputation, and to close down a nursery school with an outstanding reputation in favour of a new build school for a primary school with a good reputation who don't have a nursery and don't have staff trained in nursery and will only do a nursery provision from the age of 3 upwards is not going to help parents.
Yeah.
Well,
who
Yeah.
attend to this school. We've all looked at the alternatives in the area. I went to 6 different nursery schools, both private and ones attached to schools, and this was the one that I wanted for my daughter. And
Well
I think
said.
really strongly that.
Yeah.
Passionate, yep.
Yes, definitely good. Anyone else wanting to, Councillor Elvin?
Yeah,
And then Leanne, is it
please.
after Councillor Elvin?
Yeah, I just wanted
Councillor Elvin
yeah, I just
first.
wanted to clarify a point that whilst that meeting will take place tomorrow, there will be no public participation. It will just be a streamed video meeting. So unfortunately, you won't be able to participate. I'm afraid they're not as good as we are at allowing public participation.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Leanne?
Thank you. I made a few points that I thought questions that I wanted to raise with Sunderland Council with the decision to each on just now, the financial savings that is supposed to the financial savings is supposed to go ahead with closing Hetton Hall Nursery School. However, multi-million development of the local primary school is deemed okay. I think it would be. I think sort of it's better to save what we already have, as it is outstanding. I think there's a disregard for history and heritage as well. I know Councillor Heron just touched on the fact that it's been here since I think it was 1945 or prior, I think Councillor Heron said. And we need to protect by all the families around.
Yeah, totally agree.
And it just seems like Sunderland Council have a disregard for the Ofsted rating. I mean, they only maintain nursery in Hetton Hall to be outstanding, and it's chosen to be closed down. It just seems absolutely insane.
They've got a disregard for Hetton. Never mind about anything else. They don't like it.
Pardon, I didn't catch that.
I said they've got a disregard for Hetton
Oh,
and the
right,
people,
yeah.
in my opinion. But I'm a little bit outspoken now.
Yeah. Personally, I value them massively from a special educational needs perspective. My son went to Hetton Hall Nursery School. He was diagnosed with autism while he attended the nursery. And basically every need was met, absolutely fantastic. My son, he started Hetton Hall Nursery School. He couldn't talk, he could say a few words, a few words. And by the time he left, he was literally speaking utterances, he was communicating. The development was literally miraculous, so good. And that's because of all the expertise and the ability to manage special educational needs, the autism spectrum. And there's no requirement, obviously, for say the old library nursery in Hetton private. There's no requirements, no stringent, rigorous inspections in place. They don't have to have a teacher, right? So they don't have to have a teacher. And that's essential for families with any family is, but particular for families of children with special needs now and in the future, and there'll be families that will adopt them in the future if it was to close. Sorry, I was just going to say as well that obviously Ruth and the team at Hetton Hall Nursery School, as soon as my son was diagnosed with autism, they gathered evidence to prepare an application for an educational healthcare plan. Went through the process of all that, and that was in place for my son going to primary school, which was essential for him to flourish as he is still doing now. And I think it's very important at that stage, and it can change the way education goes, all through education, through primary school, secondary school, that lays the foundation of lifelong learning, really.
Very correct.
That's true.
Yours is
Yeah.
most important.
And there was another point I'd been touched on before. I was going to say, obviously, I oppose the proposal on the whole, but to lay this on in front of Henley Hall Nursery School, who's, as I know others at every nursery, has been looking after children of the key workers, and lay this in front of them to make them fight to save the nursery school. It's just too much. And I also thought about the environmental impact of what's happening at what is a lovely building in the middle of to go to what whereas it's going to be an extension at Hetton Primary, and I just think we should really save Henley Hall Nursery School.
Yeah. Okay, Town Clerk, did you want to come in?
Yeah. Yes, please. We have a member of the public who's shown a hand on screen, which I don't think you'll be able to see. It's Lindsay.
I can't see.
So Lindsay's got a hand up. But if I can just also mention, we have 49 participants. I can't see everyone. So if anybody wants to speak, can I also suggest that you perhaps use the chat facility, which is at the bottom of your screen, and send me a private message, and I'll alert Councillor Pearson. I simply can't see everyone this evening.
No, exactly. Lindsay, did you want to come in again then?
Yes, if that's okay. Briefly onto the nursery situation. Just everybody needs to stick together as a community. I've been there, done it, had the T-shirt, you've got to bang your drum, you've got to pay your voice, you've got to protest, you've got to do whatever you've got to do. And I'd just like to quickly ask you, moving on to something different, to find out if anybody knows anything about the ISO. I used to be a governor at Hetton Com, and I know Hetton Com transferred it over to Sunderland City Council, who then fenced it all off and have basically left it to wreck and ruin. I'm just trying to find out if anybody knows any intentions of what they intend to do with it. Obviously, Hetton Primary is supposed to be going to get a new school. Is the intentions to kind of knock it down and use that part of the land? Or I'm trying to, like I say, find out, because it's an absolute eyesore.
Councillor Heron, want to come in?
Just a quick one, Madam. I'm aware that there's lots of people. We forget a lot. Get them in, and that'll turn the tide. That will help to turn the tide. We did it at we've done it at Gillisley, and we've done it elsewhere in the city. We need parent power to come onto this. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Waterston?
Yeah, I agree with Councillor Heron on that. We do need to have more input from the parents making their points. I know a lot of people up to now have emailed our MP, Richard Phillipson. I feel that you need to bombard our MP with more emails. I don't know what else, what route we want to take as a town council to support this petition. But I think we need to get something. There's obviously a strength of feeling with the public, and I feel that we have, as the town council, a need to fulfil some position in this and support the residents. We can't just sit here and go, yes, that's great, back on and do it yourself. We need to give some solid support to this, so we need to get a plan together to help them as well. I think what Councillor Heron said previously is, yes, that's a great idea. Get some people to send in stories and past history. I think the lady who's just spoken previously about her son and the help that she's gotten from the nursery, that needs to be put down. But I think we need to get some sort of a, we need to get this organised. And we can't just, yes, we need to coordinate this, or it will just slip by.
Go into, yeah.
So, I don't know whether we can leave that with the town clerk to sort of get.
Roman, the town clerk. Sorry. Councillor Rome, did you want to come in?
Anybody know this meeting tomorrow? Is it just for a discussion about the nursery, or are decisions going to be made?
It just says discussions on the Hetton nursery. I don't know whether there'll be actually decisions made. No, we can't participate at this. Obviously, it's.
Well, I know that, but the thing is,
it would be nice to hear what they've got to say.
Yeah.
Well, could I possibly propose that we get a meeting? Hang on, Town Clerk, I think you might have an idea here.
Sorry, can I just come in here?
Yeah, Graham.
The sound quality is absolutely appalling. I can barely hear anything anybody's saying. Councillor Waterson just commented there, and all I picked up was Town Clerk at the end. When I'm having a look at my screen, there's still a small number of members who haven't gone on mute. And we really need people to go on mute if they're not speaking, to try and help with the sound quality. And there's also a member of the public, Mel, would like to speak. She's off my screen, but I have had a message from them. So if we could bring Mel in, Chairman, at some stage, please. But as I say, I missed Councillor Waterson's comment. If there's a specific action for me, it'll have to be repeated, please.
Yes, Clark. I was just saying that, I think we need to get sort of motivated and come up with some way of progressing this petition and our support for the parents. I didn't know whether you could lead us in the right direction to do this, to coordinate some sort of get all the information together. Should it come to you?
You're too kind. You're too kind. I'm just trying to think this through. I mean, you've mentioned a petition there. If council wished, we could certainly promote that via our Facebook page as a first step. I don't know who's behind the petition, if it's already up and running, or whether or not it needs to be started from scratch.
Yeah, I think it is up and running, Town Clerk.
I'm aware of a petition site called 38 Degrees, which may be of interest. I'll have to research that. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it's called 38 Degrees, which enables community to and individuals to raise petitions. So I'm certainly happy to look at that if that's council's wish as a first step.
Yeah, I think anything.
Excuse me.
But
just add to that, please.
The document tomorrow is to get approval, take it out into public consultation.
There's this Mel wants to speak as well, is that right? And then John, Councillor Deputy after Mel.
Chairman, sorry, we've got a queue. We've got a queue here.
Yeah.
I'm also a parent of a child who attended home. Will I continue?
Yes, people are freezing here as well.
Thank you.
Right. Mel, if you continue, please.
I'm also a parent of a child who attended Hetton Hall Nursery, and I think from my point of view, I'm very concerned about the fact that when I started looking at nursery provisions for my child, two of the key things I looked for were the Ofsted ratings, which Hetton Hall, as we know, is outstanding, and also the data that the school produces, so the outcomes that the children achieve at the end of their schooling in that school. For me, Hetton Primary School would not be an option vision we're giving our children, and actually whether children would even attend that site, and for me it wouldn't be an option. And I just think we have to think really carefully about getting rid of what difference that will make to their lives.
Yeah.
Councillor Deputy, did you want to come in?
Obviously, can I make a quick proposal? Can Town Clerk send an email to these first thing in the morning to say the whole of Hetton Hall, including Hetton Town Council, are opposed to anything where it's going to close this? Give them the message straight away so it's there at the meeting in the morning.
Yes.
Seconded. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's just an email, full backing of Hetton Town Council and the community. This we're going to fight this right if the head is keeping open. But I just think it's just a move progress. I just think that's just a move progress. Because we're getting bogged down. But I think it's the council is emailed to this meeting in the morning to be read out. Should be done. If I could have a second.
Selvin seconded. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Town Clerk.
Sorry, I was trying to mention before. I've got a queue here. I've also had a suggestion from a member if we can just extend the time scale for this discussion on the grounds of its importance.
I think that's yes.
I think that's yeah.
So
I propose that the meeting is extended to so all the the guests can participate. Could I might suggest, Madam Mayor, that the town clerk allows the guests to speak prior to any councillor, so
right.
Hear them all.
Yeah.
So I'm getting.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah. Okay.
Kevin, you're just going to have to give me a minute. I'm getting quite a few messages here. I just need to take stock.
Who's next in line?
Give us a second.
Graham?
Give us a second, please. Right, I've had one of the members of the public say that sorry, the proposal is being heard tomorrow and the consultation opens on the 23rd for comments. Yeah, that's an important point to bear in mind. I've also had a request from Galaxy S9 to comment. And I've also had Councillor Hopper a little earlier would like to comment as well.
Galaxy S9, did you say?
Galaxy S9, I don't know where that person is.
Galaxy S9, yeah.
Yeah, I've got you.
Hey there, yeah, thanks for that. My name isn't Galaxy S9, it's James. I'm a parent of a student at the nursery. He's been there constantly from 9 months. He's currently 3-year-old now, and he's doing 40 hours a week to enable me and my wife to work. We chose that nursery based on its Ofsted report, obviously the outstanding report, and all of the other things that have been previously mentioned by other members of the public to Sutton County Council's proposal. Obviously, a large amount of this is centred around finances. They've then alluded to different restructure options and deploying of students elsewhere. A specific thing that keeps coming up is Hetton's new build that they're going to be developing and attaching a nursery class to that in regards to Hetton Primary School. Now, I'm just going back into some of the town council's meetings minutes back to April of 2020. There was a planning matter submitted by Hetton Primary School to have 2 demountable classrooms built for the purpose of a nursery class. I'm just wondering if that was ever challenged, because there's no comment or no challenge on there as to why you'd be building 2 demountable classrooms that are going to be knocked down in a couple of years' time for a multi-million-pound development. It just seems like there's an awful lot of money being wasted, and then this could be, you know, distributed to nursery itself as opposed to.
Did you say town clerk besides this gentleman?
Councillor Hopper was but hang on a second. I'm trying to mention something.
Didn't you?
Tried to mention something before, but apparently I wasn't heard. It was just that the consultation start date is the 23rd. Did anybody get that? Sorry, I've.
Okay.
Can anybody hear me or not?
You're frozen again. No, you're frozen again.
I'm just sitting still, man.
The consultation was the 23rd of November.
Right, that's good. As
Oh,
long as
you're
that
just
gets got
sitting
over.
still.
I was just sitting
Well,
still.
can you move a bit?
Show some animation, Town Clerk. Right, okay.
Yes. Okay. So is it just Councillor Hopper to come in now, or?
I'm just having a look
There's a
down.
few members of the public.
I know that's what I'm trying to find out.
Mr. Clark, is there any members of the public would like to speak again?
I think we're all done.
Or who haven't
That's who is
spoken?
trying to do.
Kathleen, Philip Dowell, he keeps putting his hand up.
Sorry.
Hiya. It just puzzles me why there haven't so many new estates being put up. It just doesn't justify a building of education to be closed down. So we keep these places open or closed one with high education in there being dismissed.
Yeah.
It just isn't common sense.
Well said, Philip.
Yeah. Okay. We got anyone else in the queue, Town Clerk? Or
No.
I know Councillor Hopper is, but I'm waiting for members of the public.
No, not at the moment.
No. No, not at the moment. Okay, Councillor Hopper. You're on mute, Councillor Hopper. How are you? Can it hear you? Can't hear you. No. Okay. Okay. Is there
I'll
any...
send him a message.
Send him a message, right?
Hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey!
Yes.
As shy and bashful as I am. So, it's this situation is slightly ironic. I mean, when I heard about it this afternoon, I was thinking they're doing it again.
Yeah.
People at Sunderland City Council are making the decisions. They're wasting our time. And this is every day of the week. You know, in the council, you try and come up with ideas to improve your community. Over at Sunderland City Council, I'm sure they've got a committee that sits there to destroy the community. That's all they want to do. Not because I've got a loud mouth, but I have got one. And I'll vote for
yeah.
City Council. They are, though, the destroyers of communities, building houses, closing schools down. Even, I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine. The son he needs adult care. They've taken all that away. They've closed all that down. Now, I think there was somebody that said we need to put politics to one side. We do. It happened. So we need all the councils to sit together, but we need to be attacking Sunderland City Council and specifically the committee that made this decision and didn't even inform us of it. And that's all I wanted to say. So my proposal would be a cease and desist order from request over to this committee tomorrow morning. Do nothing until they hear from us or they've had a consultation with us. It's as simple as that. You either let them walk over you or you go kick the doors in. It's as simple as that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else?
Have a look.
Or is that it for public participation? Or
I'm not sure if Catherine had a
Madam
hand
Mayor,
up.
Madam Mayor, Sarah Finn had a hand up a moment ago.
Mr. Williams.
I cannot see her.
Sorry,
so I
Madam
don't know.
Mayor, Mr. Williams has got his hand up again.
Who? Sorry.
Mr. Williams.
I see him. Yeah, Mr. Williams. Yeah. And then Sarah, if she's still there. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Williams.
Catherine's hand's up as well.
Hi there. Just very quickly, would it not be possible tonight that all the councillors of the council, you'd actually have a vote, maybe it's in private, whatever, just to make sure that party politics are put to one one side and all you guys are backing us, we will back you. We will kick the doors in. Let's have a vote, all fight together, or anything like that. Please, could you have a vote tonight and then everyone backs it
We can have a
together?
vote now if
I'm
you
in
like,
favour.
Mr. Williams. Yeah, I'm in favour.
I'm in favour.
I
Can't
think,
see all the councillors, sorry.
I think that's everybody looking at
I
it.
think it's unanimous, yeah.
Yeah.
And that there's nothing more than closing a school and a nursery that gets the public together.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Clark, can we go through and just ensure that everybody is in favour? Because I don't see some hands up.
Yeah, let's just, I'll have to figure out who's here. Bear with me.
Yeah. Councillor Pearson, yes.
Yeah. Just give me a moment.
Elvin.
Wilson. Yes.
Rohan.
Councillor Farrow, is she there or?
You're going to have to give me a minute, folks.
Yeah, Councillor Farrow, I've seen her, yeah, now. Councillor Heron, Councillor Hopper, yeah.
Colson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got his hand up.
Catherine's waiting to talk.
I know that.
Oh, no, no.
We finish this for Catherine. I'm not missing you. Sorry.
Just raise your hand.
It's watching me. It's watching me eyes.
Right, can I go through each of the members one by one? Can I
Okay,
just be clear what we're actually asking members to do here?
To say that we're all in agreement with, we don't want anything
In opposition to the closure.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to go around members as they appear on my screen. Councillor Waterston.
Hello.
Councillor Waterston.
Why?
Go to the next one. Councillor Pearson.
Yes,
yes.
Right, Councillor Pearson. Yeah. Councillor Rome.
Yes.
Councillor Coulson.
Yes.
Councillor Elvin.
Easy one.
Yes.
That's the town clerk.
Yeah. Councillor Defty.
Yes.
Okay. Next is Councillor Willis.
Definitely.
Yes.
Councillor Heron.
Yes.
Councillor Geddes.
Yeah.
Councillor Hopper.
100%.
Just bear with me again. Make sure I've got everyone. Councillor Farrow.
That's for Councillor Dodge.
Councillor
Yes.
Dodge.
Councillor Dodge, she said yes.
And Councillor Farrow, you've lost you again.
Yes.
No, she said yes.
Yes.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
Well, on my screen, I'm right next to you, Clark, and I've said yes all the time.
Right. No. Right, I've got that, but I've lost all video. I can hear people, but I've got nobody on screen now. Well, they're coming back.
Okay.
Right. Unanimous.
Yes.
Catherine, you wanted to speak?
Yes, please. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd just like to speak about my son's nursery. It's the Little Gems Nursery, which is located in the Hetton Centre. Now, with the CAF that's closed, the children used to get hot meals off them, which the parents did pay for, and now they're resorting to having to have packed lunches every day. Now, the CAF has been open years, and I know for a fact there used to be loads of people use it. people from the nursing homes used to use it because it was easy to get the residents in. A lot of regulars used to use the cafe, and I was wondering if you could help by trying to get this cafe back up and running.
It's Hetton Town Trust that runs that.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult, but
We get involved, and when we get involved, we get wrong.
you know. But I mean, yeah, we can try. Yes, Councillor Rome.
Hello, I am the Hetton Town Council representative on Hetton Town Trust, and I found out about this. The chairman of Hetton Town Trust asking for a remote meeting because we haven't had a meeting since March, and because of this issue, I think it's very important that we do. And I also have read about some of your ideas for turning the cafe into like a play cafe and extending the nursery. And I think it's a brilliant idea. It's what I was trying to get the trust to do last year, but then COVID interfered. So you certainly have my support. And again, if we could get the agreement of the remote meeting, it won't be for at least a week because they've got to give a week's notice. But we all must pull together for Little Gems and for the Hetton Centre and the Town Trust. That's the miners' money that went into that. It's our money, it's our facility, and we've got to fight to keep that going too.
Also for the football pitch as well. I mean, they had loads of games and everything on there, and the change rooms has just been done, and it does bring a lot of money in when people do come, so it's really good.
Absolutely.
Sorry, can I just come in there, Councillor Rowan?
Yeah.
If you're on the trust, we all know that. If you
I
know
know nothing about this at all.
Sorry?
Nothing about it.
The question I'm asking is, who has one person made this decision? The chairman?
Yes.
Would that be the chairman? Well, that's
I would assume so.
just democracy at all, is it?
There's total lack of
Well,
transparency
again,
and
I don't
democracy.
know what Hetton Town Council can do, but I would certainly be questioning that particular chair as to how he's made that decision and why it's made on his say-so.
Well, which is why I wanted to call a meeting, Councillor Geddes, because, it's just been nothing since March.
I mean, I know Suzanne, the owner of Little Gems, has asked for meetings and she's been denied them. They said they're not doing anything till next year.
Well, I can assure you, I knew nothing about this.
I knew nothing
and I
about
sit
it.
on the trust, and so and the mayor sits on the trust, and she knew nothing about this either.
And I just add, how do we stand with this? Because the trust is a standalone body, but again, we're in a similar position here with many people. Their children go there, they're not getting any mails. And again, can I just ask Mr. Town Clerk if you can guide us or anybody else, how do we go about this? Because Hetton Town Council, although we have a representative on, we need some guidance as to how we go about getting these very important questions on.
Well, can I also just say that Councillor Geddes, we have a lad tonight who are also Hetton councillors, and I think every Hetton Town councillor sits, every son and city councillor for Hetton sits on Hetton Town Trust. And I'm not sure if there's any from Houghton or it's just Hetton. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look up the names. But, we are, where are they? Why aren't they here supporting us? Are they in the dark, or are they just keeping stum and not letting us know? There's something seriously wrong here.
Sorted soon.
Yeah, I totally agree. But again,
month it's cold, it's been nice for the children to have some hot meals. I mean, they used to really enjoy seeing the resort of pack lunches. So, and they won't let her use the kitchen either to even make meals for them. So,
Yeah, totally agree with you.
If we can get a meeting, we
Sorry.
will. I mean, Councillor Rome has asked for one,
yeah,
so we're
that's
just
great.
waiting.
Thank you.
I mean, it should be a democracy, not a dictatorship with one person, but there you go.
Town Clerk?
Yeah, just a couple of comments to make. First of all, can I again please ask participants to mute if they're not speaking? I've had a representation from a member of the public who's overhearing conversations that you probably wouldn't like to hear in terms of language use and things like that. So please mute if that'll help. And secondly, Councillor Geddes has asked for a steer from me about how we actually.
Sorry, we've lost you again.
Right. See, I've had representation from a member of the public, and again, just to reiterate that people put themselves on mute. There's a member of the public hearing conversations which would rather not hear due to the use of inappropriate language. Any better?
Can you repeat that again? Because I don't think everybody heard you.
Yeah, please go on mute. We have a member of the public who's overhearing conversations which involves use of inappropriate language.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Please put on mute.
Yeah, please.
Secondly, Councillor Geddes asked me a specific question around what we might be able to do in relation to the Barnard Cafe and the Hetton Town Trust. I'm just thinking on my feet here. Councillor Rome, who is one of the council's 2 representatives on the trust, has mentioned that she would like a meeting, and I think that's an appropriate step to request a meeting of the Hetton Town Trust.
Can't hear you, Graham.
Can't hear you, you're gone again.
Hang on. Sorry, my internet's gone.
No, you've gone.
Give me a moment.
You're back on, Graham.
No, he's disappeared. Disappeared completely now. Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Well, oh, he's back.
Right. Can you hear me? That's the most important thing. Right.
That's it.
Just in terms of the Barnard Cafe and the Hetton Town Trust, Councillor Geddes asked if I had any views on how to move it forward. Councillor Rome has suggested that as a trustee, she wants to convene a meeting. And whilst I don't know the constitution of the Hetton Town Trust in any detail, and nor is my role to do so, if trustees want a meeting, I would imagine that it's not unreasonable to request that. In terms of other action, you said to ask a range of questions, you need to establish what those questions are, which you want the Hetton Town Trust management to address. And I'll be second guessing to try and come up with a list of those at the moment. So, yes, a request either from the Town Council as a whole for a meeting, but if you have a list of queries for them, you're going to have to identify them.
Ruth Williamson wants to speak as well. I don't know where she is, but she wishes to speak. Ruth?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hiya.
Hi, I'm really
Yes.
to the comments around our nursery, but just to say that we are deeply disappointed with the proposal. The proposal's going to the City Council tomorrow to be approved or declined, and then the consultation opens to everybody on the 23rd. So we're just urging people to put in as many comments like we've heard tonight, just to support the nursery and make sure this doesn't happen. And I don't know if you were misled as councillors on the agreement that you made previous about Hetton primary demountables, because that's the plan, that our children get taken across into those demountables regardless of parent choice, but I think that's where they're heading to. And obviously that was improved by Hetton Council in July, I think it was. So I'm not sure if you kind of knew the backstory behind that.
I don't think you did.
No.
No, I don't think so. No,
probably not.
The full, and I'm happy to email anyone. If anyone wants to email the school, I can send you a copy of the proposal. But obviously, it's just heartwarming to see the support tonight from everybody, and just to try and make sure that we can keep the one and only
Ruth, can
outstanding
I
provision
suggest
in the
something?
area.
Sorry, it's Councillor Geddes. Can
Yeah,
you
of
send
course.
that proposal to the town clerk and he can send it on to everybody that needs it?
Yeah, of course, no problem. Thank you.
Can I just say also to Ruth that it sounds as though Ruth's just come into the meeting, and I'd just like to say, to clarify to Ruth, that we've had a unanimous decision made by the town council, which doesn't often happen, to all agree to support this petition and to fight it as hard as we can, along with the residents. That's just been passed through.
Yeah,
so you have all of that.
I was there, and I'm really grateful for that, because that is the real show of strength, and that's exactly what we need from the community.
Exactly.
So thank you very much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Message from Kevin Vaughan, Madam Mayor.
Sunderland Council, something.
Sunderland Council
it's
signing
gone.
off everything without informing Hetton Town Council.
Yeah.
100% correct.
Correct.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Town
Madam
clerk?
Mayor,
Yeah.
just correct that. The document tomorrow is to take it out to public consultation.
Yeah.
Town clerk, did you want to come in as well?
Yeah, sorry, just to apologise, I've been missing for a few minutes. I'm having major problems with the technology at this end tonight. So I've missed the last I've missed the last 3 or 4 minutes. I've just been trying to get a Ethernet cable from elsewhere in the house, which is now attached. So it might be a bit better for mine now, but I have missed several minutes of the conversation. Although I've got the recording though, so I will have to review it and see what actions were just been allocated.
Okay. Councillor Heron, what did you say? Sorry.
The document at Cabinet tomorrow is to take it out.
That's all. That's what the discussion. That's what the discussion is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not actually closing it tomorrow. They're actually going to put it out to public consultation.
Which will be the 23rd of November. Yeah. Okay. Councillor Watterson. Quick. Yeah.
Can I just ask, does that mean that there will be the public consultation will be possibly held in the Hetton Centre or somewhere like that, where members of the public and town councillors can attend? Do we know that? Is that what will happen, Councillor Heron?
COVID, you'll not be able to.
Oh, that's right. So
yeah, COVID
so
won't
how
be
will
able to. Might have to do it by Zoom or something.
So it'll be online. It'll all be online and
maybe
on a Zoom. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to find that out pretty quickly, don't we?
Yeah. Ruth's saying it's an online consultation.
Yeah, I'm not on the system, so
it's an online consultation.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Is that
sorry, just a final one from me. I'm just catching up on messages here. It says I was missing for a few minutes. Has Ruth Williamson spoken?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I missed it. Sorry.
Councillor Elvin.
Is that? Oh, sorry, Councillor Elvin.
Yeah, just a quickie, Madam Mayor. If I could comment that consultations are usually a tick box exercise, and how often have they taken place, and take a blind bit of notice of what the people say. So I wouldn't hold too much hope out there.
Well, I'd just like to come back on that, Councillor Mayor, to the Mayor. Can I just answer that? I agree with you, Councillor Elvin, but I think we did the public consultation on the travellers site over at the Hetton Lions Country Park. I think we proved by public consultation the power of the people that was stopped because of a public consultation.
I think if we all stick together,
yes, we need to. I do
together and everybody together.
Madam Mayor, just a quick one, Madam Mayor. Can I emphasise that Hetton Town Council as Councillor Deputy said, needs to first thing in the morning express to this group at the Civic Centre that there is a very, very large proportion of the people and all of the councillors that have big misgivings about what they are trying to do. And I think that needs to go straight away so that they've got it. Because at the end of the day, we all know we'll turn around and say, well, there was nobody got in touch with us.
Yeah.
You know, we just need that to go, Mr. Town Clerk, as soon as possible. If not tonight, actually. Does anybody know?
Time we get finished.
Sorry, does anybody know? Does anybody know who was actually chairing that meeting, the contact person? Councillor Hearn, do you know? Who the chairperson is of this group tomorrow?
What was that?
Do you know? Does anyone know who the chair of the particular group is tomorrow? I think Mr. Katie's
It'll be the leader of the council, probably.
Right.
Yes, I was going to say, I've just been informed it's Councillor Miller. Councillor Miller. I mean, what I'll do, I will try and get something to the City Council this evening after we've concluded. At the very least, I'll be able to find out who the appropriate officers are, and I'll make sure I get into them and make them aware of the Town Council and the public's viewpoint.
Sorry, Mr. Katie. Can I suggest you also copy the chief here, the chief executive? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councillor Watterson, before we finish off.
Sorry, I think Donna Thomas is asking if she can speak.
Can't see her, so yeah. Donna, wherever you are.
Hello, can you hear us all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just a couple of things really. It's absolutely disgraceful that Hetton Town Council have to get this information off a media site, social media site. The second bit is I've spoke to some of the mums and the residents and the aunts and the uncles, and you see the strength of feeling tonight. My suggestion is that when the town clerk writes to them, they tell them to save the money that they're going to be paying these big consultation fee people and put it back into the nursery and make a go of it. Outstanding. That says it all.
Yeah. Thank you, Donna. Okay, can we move on, or is there still?
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Councillor Dodds.
Yeah.
Can I just make a suggestion with regards to Lindsay's comment right at the beginning regarding the antisocial behaviour on the quad bikes? Have we actually spoken to the police about this and asked them to come into the Hetton Town Council meeting to discuss this issue? Because I think it's been on the public's participation bit for the last 3 or 4 meetings, and it doesn't feel like there's anything getting done.
I think we asked.
I think the clerk has asked. Yeah, I think the clerk has asked on various number of occasions for them to come in.
Mr. Katie asked the PCC to check. Didn't have time.
Could we ask again and push it?
Yeah. Yes, Donna.
Yeah, the residents group, I think Tracy was there, we put in a complaint non-engagement of Northumbria Police with our area, with our residents. About a month ago, we've had nothing back from Kim McGuinness as such. Again, to ask, but Northumbria Police is very absent, and it's really been noticed now. So yeah, I think we should be brought into the meetings again.
That everyone spoke now? Can I come in there?
I think that the town clerk has on a number of occasions asked the new police commission and crime commission to attend, and I think the final sorry, I can just hear it. But she's come back again with, however, due to an influx of demand since the new lockdown, she's fully booked and unable to join the meeting. So that's the latest statement from the Kim McGuinness, the police commissioner. I think that needs to be noted.
Yes, Cam Clark.
Yeah, we have 3 people with blue hands up, which you'll not be able to see. We've got Lindsay, Martin, and Penny, all with hands up wishing to speak.
I think if them are members of the public, they should be allowed, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, fine. Lindsay?
I just want to come back on the comments regarding that in the Northumbria Police. Basically, you're reporting it, and nothing is being done about it. Can't chase them on the bikes, on the quads, and nothing is being done. But I find it really hard to believe when the report has gone out there for the proposal of the Cragdale site, and if anybody has seen the report on there, there is a lot of concerns regarding antisocial behaviour. So I find it really alarming that the police will not attend and won't do anything for us. So that's all I want to say. Thank you. I think Martin might want to speak.
Martin? Martin, do you want to speak? No. Are you there, Martin?
He's on mute.
He's not lighting up either, so I don't know. Oh, he's there. Yeah.
With regards to this Northumbrian Place thing, now 2 weeks ago, I live in Airedale Gardens. 2 weeks ago, at 6:45 on the Sunday night, I had 3 vehicles outside my house, had all the windows smashed out. Now that has cost me an absolute fortune. Now I phoned the police 15 minutes after it happened, and the response I got from the police was there'll be somebody there as soon as I've got somebody available. Now 15 minutes later, there was somebody driving around the field in a car that actually rammed the gate the previous evening and broke the gate so they could get around the field, and they were driving around in a car on the field. I came in and phoned the police back and told them about that. Now, nothing happened about that, and about 10 to 8, there was a Corsa police car drove past the end of the street. I tried to flag them down, and there was no way they couldn't see us. Orders. Now I got straight back on the phone to the incident room, and I was told, well, they could be doing something else, they could be on something else. They had no lights on, they were basically just driving around the estate. Now, those vehicles were all smashed up, and it's cost me a lot of money, as I've said, to put them right, and the police turned up at 9:30 on the evening, 2.5 hours after it happened. And all I got from those 2 policemen was, oh, it must be a case of mistaken identity or something. We'll take some photographs and we'll go. Now, 2 weeks on, I am still waiting for a crime number off them. Now, I think that's ridiculous.
Can I come in on this, Madam Mayor?
Yeah, whoever you are, I can't see who you are. So yes.
Hopper.
Oh yes, Councillor Hopper. Sorry.
So I'd heard about this particular case, and I was going to mention it tonight, but it's part of a chain of events that's actually happening through Hetton Swimming Club. They had £500 worth of damage. 3 drunk teenage girls kicking the balls against the car. The police were rang. They didn't turn up till 9 o'clock. Then I had Pete Carr. Multiple vehicles, windows smashed at 6:45 on a Sunday night. Cars and motorbikes. Yeah, you're right, Matt. Yeah, and then so my action for that would be to ask the council, contact Northumbria Police to ask what they are doing to prevent this behaviour. 2, contact Sunderland City Council with the same question. 3, contact the Gen 2 Housing Association with the same question. Now, I just very quickly, along the same lines, I just want to let you, I'll forward the crime number on to you, Graham. And what happened was on January the 18th, there was a break-in in the stables up at Moseley. The people who broke in were filmed on camera on the burglary. They were also filmed returning back with the goods that they'd stolen. Got really good facial recognition. The two people were identified to the police. The police came out and arrested them. 2 weeks ago, we're being told that they're not going to prosecute because it's not in the public interest. Now, forgive me, if they're not going to prosecute the burglar because it's not in the public interest, and they can't be bothered to come out because they say, probably to you, Martin, as they said to me, oh, just I will give you a crime number claim on the insurance.
That's exactly right.
I have to ask the question, why are we paying the police? Honestly, I know people laugh when you talk about withholding money for, like, sort of from your council tax, and I know we're on dangerous ground, but these people have to be asked serious questions, and they're not answering month after month after month. And Sunderland City Council should be backing us on this 100%, and we're silent. Silent. You get no answers from them. They have the power to get this crime commissioner down into our community meetings.
Yeah. Okay. Was it Catherine that wanted to speak as well? Did you say, Graham?
Penny.
Penny. Sorry. Penny, are you there?
I can't sit here now, I'm afraid.
No, doesn't look as though she's there.
We are losing people rapidly now, man.
Yes. That's fine. Well, not fine, but yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just having another look. I can't see. No, I can't see Penny anywhere now.
Okay. Right. Is there anyone else wishing to speak, or can we move on?
I think we can move on, Madam Mayor.
Move on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Your next item is item 4, and it's 2 sets of minutes. The first set of minutes are those of the meeting of Hetton Town Council on the 19th of October. I did have an suggested amendment earlier on from a member because I had a geographical location, but the member's going to have to refresh my memory.
Yes, Madam Mayor, it was the positioning of the request position of a speed camera. It just said Seaham Road out of Hetton, but it's Colliery Lane, and the road number is the B1285. Just to make it clear.
If you just bear with me, Council, I'll bring the minutes up on screen. I can find them. There we go, 7 pages. I'll just scroll them down slowly. All members will have had copies of these. And Councillor Elvin's amendment was on page 2, I believe.
Yes. Just to add further clarification.
Yeah, I've got that.
It's Colliery Lane B1285. Thank you.
Right, there are your minutes. Any views?
Madam Mayor, can I propose they're adopted?
Seconded.
onto something. I can't get everybody back for some reason.
Mr. Clark, we're hearing present.
No, I'm just trying to get you all back.
Just while we're trying to get this sorted, Madam Mayor, do you know that it's for everybody actually? I was told that the sergeant's now moved on to Newcastle from Northern Police that was in our area. Simon Marshall, which is disappointing.
Sorry, Councillor Geddes, I never heard that.
Just a little bit of information. I was told that Simon Marshall.
There we are. So Simon Marshall's been in, has he?
No, he's gone to Newcastle.
Oh, he's gone to Newcastle.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to bear with me.
Don't panic, Graham. Just take your time.
Don't panic, Mr. Mannering.
Go and get a slice of chocolate cake that my colleague baked. It's lovely.
Top right hand corner, Graham. View options, view.
No.
You are viewing the town clerk's screen. I've got that. It's a full screen view. Standard.
Sorry about this.
Don't worry. Can you remember when the thing used to come up with a girl on the center of your screen when it went wrong?
Yeah, but I do want to be sharing.
Come back. Oh, there we go.
There we
There you go.
There
There
we
you go. Oh, dear me. Let me out. Right. So, what was the view on the minutes?
We agreed. Councillor Elvin said to accept them.
Right.
Seconded by myself, yeah.
Okay, the next set of minutes is the minutes of the events committee on the 2nd of November. There you go.
Propose that they accept it.
I second that proposal.
Any other views?
Madam Mayor, I would like
Yes.
to make some comments, please.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Thank you. It's in relation to the Deputy Mayor and comments he's put on Facebook about myself. He accused me of being unpatriotic.
Who did, Councillor Hetton?
I'd like to finish the statement, Councillor, and then you can come back.
No, it's the agenda. Point of order, Madam Mayor. The agenda item is to discuss the minutes of that meeting. If there are any amendments,
Any amendments to that meeting?
or alterations to the minutes.
I've been slandered on Facebook.
Well, then, Councillor, this is not the agenda item to take it up on.
My right to put that right at this meeting, because it's the only meeting I can do it
Yeah,
at.
but this is not the place for it. So we're actually talking about the events committees thing.
It is the only place where this can be discussed. And I would
No,
like
it's not.
Statement.
No,
about these two councillors and
Sorry.
that unpatriotic duty.
Object.
Objection, yeah.
Didn't last very long this working together, did it?
No, it
Can we
didn't.
have order, please?
Councillor Elvin.
I beg your pardon?
Can we have?
Sorry.
You have the power. You have the power to mute them, Town Clerk.
The flagpoles, and I replied that they were a waste of money.
No.
However, I will say to you, and
you need to mute them.
I propose we accept the minutes.
Madam Mayor, I must object. This is to discuss the minutes.
The events committee. Can we
discuss the minutes?
It actually comes to mind as well.
The
Labour Council bought the seat to World War.
Town Clerk.
It's nothing to do with the minutes, Town Clerk.
Please.
Can we have, order, please?
I would like to continue, Madam Mayor, to get this.
No, get him muted. Get him muted.
You're afraid of being told.
Get him muted.
You're about. You're
Sorry,
about.
can I just comment here?
Hold on a minute. Can we ask the town clerk to intervene, please?
Sorry, I can't hear a thing anybody's saying because everyone's talking.
Over everybody else.
If it's the view of the chairman that you would like me to mute people, she'll need to advise me accordingly.
Sorry, I never heard that. Sorry.
Mr. Clark.
Oh, I've lost the picture here. Hang on. Right,
Madam
sorry.
Chair, can you put a request in to ask him to mute Councillor Heron?
Yes, this is not the place to bring that up. So yes, can you mute Councillor Heron, please? We are discussing. We are discussing. No, we are discussing the events committee meeting.
Here as well.
No, we're discussing the events committee meeting.
I have proposed
this
we
replies
accept
to it
minutes.
because there's been lies told on social media.
Yes, we all know about that, Councillor Heron.
And I will.
Madam Mayor, could I ask the clerk to clarify this point of order? The agenda item is to discuss the minutes of the events and special activities committee meeting. Yeah. It's not to discuss what's been going on social media. If the honourable councillor wants to bring it up somewhere else, but we must stick to the agenda, Town Clerk. We must stick to the agenda.
Up from speaking to defend himself when he's been libelled by.
Yes. So what about me, Councillor Heron? Why can't I?
No, yes. Can we have it all in one go, please? We're talking about the events committee, and we're wanting to agree the minutes of the events committee. Can we have that, please?
Can you
I would like to still have my statement said.
Can I just comment here, please? Can I comment? Because I have the facility to mute absolutely everyone from this screen. My suggestion would be the agenda item is to agree the minutes of that meeting. If the individual members have wider concerns about comments allegedly made by other members, there are alternative processes that need to be gone through. And that's the route I would suggest. If it's your wish that I mute the entire meeting, I can do that relatively easily. But I would suggest that the protocol is to stick to the agenda, and if any member has any issues about the alleged behaviour or anything from other members, there is an alternative route that they need to go through.
That matter is undemocratic. That matter is undemocratic.
Okay. Councillor Rome, I believe you had a proposal.
I propose that we accept these minutes.
I'll second that.
They were already proposed and seconded.
Ding, seconded. Can we go further on? Move on.
Not really.
Right. Item 5. Any reports from members of the board matters?
Yes, Councillor Waterston.
It's a bit of a shipping order, this mine, so I'll warn you. I've got quite a bit.
Chairman?
Sorry, I've just lost me. I've lost me.
Town clerk wants to come in again.
Sorry.
Chairman, can I just make a suggestion here? It's I'm entirely in the hands of council here. It's now 5 to 9, and we've spent important time talking about members of the public issue. We have quite a heavy agenda to go through this evening, and some which will require some fairly in-depth discussion. My suggestion would be that if council were willing to do so, that they email me separately any ward matters. But I'm in your hands here.
That's a good suggestion, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor Romy, you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got any ward matters, can you email the clerk, please?
Yeah,
And let him know.
agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes. Just to keep everything on track.
And Mark, could I make a suggestion? In order to speed up the process about ward matters, why don't they do that before they come to the meeting? Instead of drilling them all out for about another 15, 20 minutes, half an hour that we've been doing with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Rom?
But just following the protocol that's been in existence at Hetton Town Council for 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Can we move on?
Sorry, I've just had some messages come through. Okay, item 6, this was the agenda item for Sunderland City Councillors. All Sunderland City Councillors representing the Hetton and Copt Hill wards have been invited this evening. I've had apologies from the two dual-hatted councillors, Councillors Thornton and Turner. I haven't heard from anyone else. You just want to move on to item 7, or?
Yes. Fine. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Item 7.
Yeah.
A couple of members asked me to put this on the agenda: dangerous and unsightly properties, and for the council to consider potential actions.
Yes, Councillor Rome.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was one of the members who proposed this. I was particularly concerned about 83 High Street, Easington Lane. It's been unsightly and dangerous for the best part of 2 decades that I know of. Hetton Town Council has not opposed 2 lots of planning applications for that, but it was refused at Sunderland City Council because it was considered there would be too much traffic, whatever, around there. I've heard it's changed hands. It used to be owned by the same person that owned 1 to 7 Richard Street, and this owner seems to be running rings around Sunderland City Council, whatever he's doing, to avoid taking any responsibility for the state of these properties. They're dangerous, they're unsightly. We've also got Bog Row School. We've also got the Wesleyan Chapel, which has been converted into 6 flats. It's an absolute disgrace from the outside with all the rubbish outside. And also the Wesleyan Chapel Schoolhouse, which we all know who that used to belong to. That had planning permission granted. A lot of work has been done nearly 10 years ago, and it's still looking like a doss house. Now, we need to, I'd like to propose that we write once more to Sunderland City Council and we find out what they've been doing against these owners. Absent landlords and owners with derelict properties, they're just, you know, they're just laughing all the way to the bank.
Madam
Councillor Geddes, sorry.
Follow on Councillor Rowan. Just to follow on from Councillor Rowan, I recall, I think it probably be 2 years now, when the property up behind the fish shop in the middle of Hetton, which you referred to on Richard Street, there was a fire. Before it was all key, and I recall that both myself and Councillor Waterson met, fortunately, with the enforcement officer, and we asked why Sunderland Council do anything because this guy was trying to wait for a grant from Sunderland City Council to his property right. And that enforcement, unfortunately, you will be lucky to get everything done because Sunderland City Council have not got the money to fight this fella, which I find incredible. But in the meantime, as you rightly point out, Councillor Rowan, and round Dublin's up in debates. You've got Richard Street that's just going to wreck and ruin, and Sunderland City Council is sitting on the hands. I just find it so. I find it so incredible. You know, it really is incredible. The need to do something.
Madam Mayor, could I just propose second Councillor Owen's proposal that Clerk writes her on the points that she illustrated?
Yeah.
Yes. Fine. Yes, Town Clerk?
Just to make Council aware, one of the members of the public has also commented that there are some houses on Everton Row which are in a dangerous condition.
Yeah.
There's a house that's boarded up, but somebody lives in it.
Yes, he lives in it.
He's just always had it like that.
Yes. He's always he's lived in it for a long time like that.
It's got a nice mini out the back in the yard.
Oh, yes, that's what
drive it, but
yes.
Is there any action on that particular site?
Well, we could add that to the list. I can liaise with you.
Also,
I agreed. Add it to the list.
There's Maudlin Street, which is left in a total disgrace as well. That's up the Downs. Their houses are boarded up, and they've got rubbish and everything in the yards.
Madam Mayor, can somebody just pull up that Councillor Hearn's left the meeting? Can you just record that, please, if he has?
What?
Oh, he's left the meeting, has he?
Seems so.
I can't see him anywhere, but yeah.
Just having a look.
Because the clerk will have more on his screen.
No, I've got everybody on my screen now. I think
right.
I have anyway. No Councillor Hearn.
No Councillor Hearn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we concluded with item 7?
Yeah.
Yes.
Item 8, Town Clerk's update. The first thing I'd like to just advise Council is that as a result of a delay entirely on my part, I don't have an update from Sunderland City Council on last month's local issues raised. Obviously, I'll wait and see what we get via email from members for this evening. But as I say, it's a delay and it's entirely on my part. I haven't anything to report from City Council this evening.
Sorry, are you finished there, Town Clerk? Sorry.
No. Well, on that particular aspect, yes.
Farrell, did you want to come in then, Councillor Waterston?
Well, I did get a response from the item I mentioned at the last council meeting from Sunderland City Council about the speeding traffic on Robin Lane. That came through very quickly to me from Sunderland City Council, quite a detailed reply. I won't take up more time at this meeting now, but if anyone wants to know more about it, they can contact me and I can send it in. One just very brief point I will mention is that there is a new programme of putting up VAS signs, and Robin Lane will be put in the list for that. So that report came back very quickly, very promptly, very efficiently from Sunderland City Council. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Waterston?
Yeah, I just want to confirm, I think the clerk sent this out to proposed traffic calming measures by Sunderland City Council to reduce vehicle speeds, speed cushions at locations along North Road, speed table at the junction of North Road and Cornmill Drive, signs to inform motorists of humps in the area, and additional slow road marking. I welcome these measures because it is a dangerous road and has been for a number of years. However, this is the first of many areas that we've mentioned, and there's lots more in Hetton, as we said at the previous meeting, where we asked, and I called for specifically a meeting with the highways. It's not just North Road, It's all over this area, the back streets, the main road through Hetton. So we still need to press for a meeting with Highways to discuss further issues on road traffic problems in this area.
Councillor Rowan?
Yes, I would just like to find out what the criteria were for these traffic calming measures down at that end of North Road, because in over 10 years of attending these meetings, I've never once heard anybody complain about speeding there, but I've heard complaints about speeding at the other end of North Road, Lyons Lane, Colliery Lane, Elmer Lane, everywhere, and we can't get any traffic calming measures. Yet, what happened down that end of the road that they get it, and there's never been any complaints to my knowledge.
I think a previous councillor over the years mentioned the junction at Dunelm Road, leading into Dunelm Road's been a dangerous area for many years. Councillor Rowan, Councillor Campbell used to bring it up regularly.
Yeah.
So can we find out what the criteria was that was used in that instance? Then maybe we can apply it to other areas then.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I won't take any time, but I got a response from Highways about the unadopted roads that I keep bringing up. It's too lengthy to go into tonight, but if anybody wants to ask me, I'll give them an update, or
I would like to have Councillor Elvin.
I would as well, please.
Yes, because I've sent in a list of names, and I'd like to know what they've got to say.
Me too.
Yeah, as well.
Well, I can tell you now, but I was conscious of the lateness of
Of
the
the time, yeah.
I'll email you and contact you personally if that's all right. I'm conscious of the lateness of the evening.
Please.
Can I go on?
Yes, sorry.
Right, a few other things to mention to members. At the last meeting, there was a query raised, I think it might have been Councillor Geddes or Hopper, about a volunteer stop speeding campaign. I did this, and it's a national initiative called Community Speed Watch. I have been in touch with Inspector Nick Jordan of Northumbria Police about this. It's actually being reviewed at the moment, and it's on hold in our area, but he has undertaken to come back to me when it's up and running. My question specifically was, is it available in Hetton? And it appears to be suspended pending review across the whole Northumbria Police area, so that they are revisiting that, and he let me know when it's active again. The other thing I was asked to pick up with the Northumbria Police was the provision of crime statistics, and Inspector Jordan has given me an undertaking that will be copied into the information which is passed to the Coalfield Area Committee. If there's a problem with that, it'll probably be just around the timings, because our meetings are on a slightly different cycle, but there's no problem in actually getting the information. The next thing I would like to raise is I'd previously been asked to write to the Secretary of State for Housing and Communities and asking to attend either tonight's meeting or the December meeting to talk about the government's view on the relationship between town and parish councils and principal authorities. Unfortunately, due to diary commitments, he's unable to make either tonight, obviously, or December. I'm not quite sure if I want the President to come in the new year if he's able to.
Madam Mayor, could I suggest that you, sorry, Deputy Mayor, as I say, could I suggest you write to him and say, okay, appreciate you're busy, could you give us the diary date, earliest date you can make it in the new year?
And I said that without moving my lips, Councillor. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Sorry, Mr. Deputy.
Just a couple of other things I'd like to flag up as well. I mentioned last month in the financial report that there was an additional payment for the Nest pension contribution. I referred this to our payroll provider, and they've come back to me today, and I still can't quite get to the bottom of it. It's been a stubborn one to try and resolve. I'm going to take this up directly with the Nest pension provider, and hopefully I'll get a clearer answer in time for the next meeting. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that I previously referred to some issues I had with Facebook and comments getting through when comments aren't supposed to be getting through. I have had another couple of instances of that occurring, and it would appear that the facility which I thought was in place to prevent comments hadn't actually been applied. It has been applied now, and it's been actually expanded to try and introduce further controls. Any comments which are submitted to Facebook are now hidden. There's literally been no more than one handful, but they're now hidden and they're not even visible to me unless I undo the settings. So just to reiterate that Facebook is for information dissemination purposes, and whilst the Town Council, I'm sure, will be happy to engage with people, not via Facebook. Yeah, I think that's my update, unless there's any queries on that. Thank you. The next item is the financial report. This is a screen share. There you go. I don't think there's anything to bring to your attention specifically. It was queried last month about my salary, and I've adopted the same approach this time. There are some additional hours worked in October which are included in those figures, and that approach will be taken on each financial report.
Happy with that? Everybody else is?
Just having a quick flick through it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything for me to comment on there.
Just, Madam Mayor, if I just something to the town clerk. The financial report always shows the amounts of money that's gone out at at each meeting, and it's fantastic. Just a thought, because we always get our VAT back, then some of the items that appear on there are obviously going to cost the council a lot less than they're going to cost them 20% less than shown in the report. I didn't know whether it might be consideration that you maybe open the brackets and put a net amount at the side of it in case people ask. You can say, "Oh, that was a lot of money," and then you could just a thought, because I say a lot of the items are 20% less than shown on the financial report. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor, sorry.
Yes, just a question for the town clerk. It's a very healthy looking balance here, but I know we've got, when this COVID thing is over, and if we have elections in May, we've got several vacancies. Does the town clerk have any idea how much per council vacancy, when it comes to the election, it's going to cost us? Is it, I mean, I seem to recall £3,000 or £4,000 or something per vacancy, but I'm not quite sure.
You'll be lucky. I don't have precise figures. We'll not get to know those until near the time. I think your figures there are an underestimate of the costs. Don't hold me to it. I'm not an expert in that field. If you'd like me to try and get some estimates, I can ask the City Council for that figure and report back.
Thank you.
And just in terms of Councillor Elvin's suggestion about VAT, yes, it's a valid observation that many of the outgoing payments attract VAT. At the moment, the report includes VAT. If you want to give me an extra task, I can divest it from the report. But I do want to become even more sophisticated with those reports as well and provide quarterly outturn figures as well. So they are becoming better and they'll get better again.
No, Madam Mayor, I can say they're fantastic. It was just an observation.
Yes.
We're going to say some of our expenditures actually on most items is 20% less than shown there. But no, don't wish to make you any extra work.
I was going to say, I'll not thank you at this stage for giving me that task of showing VAT.
No, no. Ignore my comment.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions on the financial report? Does Council wish to consider giving it its approval?
Yeah, I'll.
Yes, fine. Yeah. Second.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah, item 10 This is the annual governance and accountability return for 1920, and just to give you an update, if you recall, we had an extraordinary meeting at the end of August to approve the submission of the annual return. And I did say at that stage that it might be November time before we hear any further. Prior to drawing up the agenda last week, I did contact the external auditor to find out what progress had been made. And at that stage, which I think was to have been a week ago today, because of the backlog which it had, work hadn't completed on this. I have had on Thursday afternoon a range of queries from the external auditor just asking for additional information, which I'll need to have a look at and provide to them. They will give this out, sorry, I will give that my attention later this week. And I know that the external auditor will give it their attention as soon as they can as well. But we're right up to the wire on this. And when we first started down this route, I thought we might have had the approved annual return to present to council tonight. It's clearly not the case. It's highly likely that we'll need an extraordinary meeting of the town council to have a look at the external audit. I can't give you a specific date, but it could actually be as late as the 30th of November, which is the absolute deadline. So I'll be working with the external auditors to give them the extra information they require, but then I'm in their hands. I'll get it in the calendar as soon as I'm able to, but I can't give you a specific date, but just to give advance notice, it could be as late as the 30th of November itself, which is fortnight today. Keep an eye on your inbox. I'll come back to you on it. Okay on that one. Yep. Any queries at all?
No.
No.
Right, thank you. Item 11, Community Aid at Christmas. This is a report I've produced and sent to members. I'll just bring it on screen. Yeah. Hopefully members have had the opportunity to have a look at this, and really it's over to council.
Adam, Matt?
Whoever you are, sorry, I cannot see anybody, so...
I'm going to take, if it's okay, I'll take this off screen.
Sorry.
It's Councillor Geddes.
Is it? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Councillor Geddes.
I'm assuming this relates to what we spoke about at the last meeting when I think there was a healthy debate, and you know, I think Councillor Turner mentioned about selection boxes and that type of thing. I think in this particular instance, in this very, very dreadful year, I think it would be a very, very good gesture, and I think it would be welcome if Hetton Town Council actually looked at giving some organisations that are currently helping out with the community. So I'm talking about somebody like LCAP, somebody like the Apostolic Church, and I've looked at that. I know for a fact that East Drayton have got a community association, and I've actually tried to contact somebody over there. And what I would be suggesting is, you know, we have money to spare, and I think it would be great for Hetton Town Council to support these already established organisations by giving them a donation. And I think we touched on that at our last meeting. I know that my colleague, Councillor Waterson, has done some background checks on how they deal with their communities. In LCAP do, you know, hot mails, and I mean, we've got Councillor Willis there, who's a sterling example of good practice, and she's great.
Thank you.
The Apostolic Church has done it. So my proposal would be, and if Councillor Waterson and if Councillor Willis wants to come in, that we look at giving 3 donations to 3 specific groups.
Can I declare an interest in this? Because obviously I can't.
You can.
So shall I go?
Well, in that case, I shall have to go as well, won't I?
Aye.
Why is that?
Do you ever turn up to meet, Clay?
I've been told.
Madam Mayor.
Can I just leave this?
Just a joke. Just a joke.
Can I leave this for Susan to do? Because actually, I do have an interest, and you do have an interest.
Could I just say, Madam Mayor, that neither of you have a pecuniary interest. The definition
No,
is
we don't.
pecuniary interest. So you don't make any money out of this. So I don't think there's any reason why you can't at least listen in to the debate.
Well, I'll listen in. Yeah.
It doesn't fall foul of the rules, in my humble opinion.
Councillor Watterson?
Yes, can I come in there?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fully aware, as we all are, that there is funding coming down to some of these community groups from council, Sunderland City Council, etc. However, what we're suggesting is that it's coming up to Christmas, and what we suggest is that Hetton Town Council could make an offer of a gift, a cash gift to these community groups, who would then be able to use the money in some way to give families who are finding themselves stretched and in dire straits at the moment a little bit of extra Christmas cheer. And we would leave that up to the community groups who are in touch with these families on a regular basis. The monies that are coming down, the finance that they're going to receive, will cover the vast amount of hot meals that LCAP are providing, over 500 hot meals, 2-course meals, with at least half of these will be in the local area, covering Easington Lane and some of Hetton, Moseley and Peacar, as far as I'm aware. 260 hot meals, 2-course meals, will be delivered across the Christmas holidays to families with children who are in a needy situation. 2 or 3 of the deliveries will be to adult-only households. The remaining households will have children. Based on October's figures, LCAP expect to make deliveries to 40 different households, and that's 60 adults and 70 children. I know the Apostolic Church, together with New Dawn, are doing hot meals. And as I say, the funding they've got will cover doing the hot meals and the basics. What I'm suggesting is that we, and Councillor Geddes has suggested, is that we give some sort of a donation to these groups to allow them to give a little bit of extra Christmas cheer. It may only be, I'm not going to suggest what it should be. I'll leave that to the community groups who deal with these people. But I said, a box of biscuits, a box of chocolates, something like that. And I think at this point in time, I don't think that's a bad thing. We would have spent money at Christmas anyway, putting on an event.
Can I just come back in there, Madam Mayor? Having spoken to our very well-informed town clerk, very professional town clerk, I know that we got money from an organisation not so long ago, and that would be money that we wouldn't have gotten, and that would be from Hargreaves. So to be quite honest, that's money we wouldn't have gotten, and that I would propose that's the sum that we split between the 3 groups, if there's no dissenting voices. But it's a council decision, and that's what I'd like to propose.
You want to come in? Sorry, you have then. Oops. Yes. Yes, Councillor Rowe.
I'm just wondering about if the council does decide to give this money, are we allowed to gift it, or do they have to apply? But also the organisation you just mentioned, Councillor Geddes.
Yeah.
What about Hetton Hole Nursery?
I wouldn't be opposed to that whatsoever. I think the fact of the matter is, I've given an example of organisations. I think LCAP's a very good example. I think the Apostolic Church is a very good example. I've looked at East Drayton, but I haven't gotten anything back, and I certainly wouldn't be opposed to the council deciding on, which 3. I think Mr. Clark wants to come in.
Yeah, George.
Great.
Yes.
Sorry, Councillor Dodds has had a hand up for a little while.
All right. Can it see us, so I don't know. Yeah. Yes, Councillor
Thanks,
Dodds?
Clark. Just one suggestion about the food, and I totally agree with the charities who are giving the food out. I'm not sure if the Apostolic Church and New Dawn work together or whether they are separate entities, but we need to find that out. Also, we could be looking at helping the charities out who are helping families with children who are struggling, so they could offer support in helping families buy gifts for the children as well. The likes of New Dawn, the Bethany Church. I'm not sure who's the charities that are around East Waiton, but I think we need to consider charities like that as well who are gifting or helping to gift for children in this time as well.
Mr. Coulson?
Hello, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with the last speaker. It's very difficult to find out. A local community group can't really find out who's poor and who's not. So I agree with the last speaker. It's best to give it to charities, like was mentioned, churches, the Bethany Church, and other charities that know what's going on at local level. I think it would be a funny decision to give it to the local community groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Waterston?
I need to come in on that. That's completely wrong, Councillor. LCAP are at the grassroots of delivering hot meals to these families. They know exactly, if anybody knows, LCAP knows where these families are who are struggling. And another thing is, if you start to disseminate information to say who's struggling and who isn't, you may well miss someone out. I think you've got to trust that these groups, and LCAP is a charity, they are working with these families day in, day out, and they know them better than anybody.
That's exactly what I mean. Give it to people who know. That's the whole point. Rather than a community group, and there's a community group at East Waiton, 100 yards from where I live. How are they going to know who's poor and who's not? That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, I apologise there, Councillor. I took that the wrong way when you mentioned groups. I thought you were saying LCAP. No, I totally agree. But that's why we've done the research on the groups that should be given a gift at Christmas, because they know where that money's going and which families will get the money. And it is a one-off. It's a situation where we're in a pandemic, you know. That's all. It's not going to be. It's not a regular thing. It's a one-off, and I think Hetton Town Council can again step up to the plate and show where our where our loyalties are, and that's to the residents.
Councillor Elvin, then the town clerk.
Yeah, yes, Madam Mayor. I was just going to suggest, could the town clerk give us his expert guidance on this?
He is now.
No pressure.
Okay.
Just to let you know, Councillor Dodds wished to speak again.
All right. Councillor Dodds?
Thanks, Town Clerk. Yeah. Can I make a suggestion that we put a pot of money for those who are providing hot meals, and a pot of money for those who are providing toys, or to help families with food and toys and Christmas gifts? Because I understand that the likes of LCAP do both, and if we offer them a set amount of money just to go to food, or a set amount of money, you know, to divide between the food and the presents, then I think it would be, I don't know whether this is coming across okay, but I think we should have, for example, I'm not saying this for definite, say £1,000 to be split between those charities or groups who are providing hot food. As Councillor Watson said, LCAP, the Apostolic, Hetton New Dawn, and then a group and a set amount of money, say £1,000 again, to be given to the groups or the charities in the local area. Sorry, I missed East Drayton out because I'm not sure what the groups are over there.
Sorry, Councillor
who are
Dodds,
providing
Councillor Dodds, can I just say
food
something?
hampers and
Councillor Dodds has finished.
Right.
Food hampers and toys for children. I hope I'm coming across clearly here.
But can I ask Councillor Dodds to be a little more specific, please?
Sorry, Councillor, it's about Councillor Dodds's comments, and I totally agree where she's coming from. What we discussed today when we were talking about this was giving the amount of money to these organisations so they could determine where it was best used. You know, if LCAP or the Apostolic Church or whoever it is gets the money, we felt when we were talking about this, the councillors I spoke to this afternoon, was that the individual organisations are best placed to identify the best way that money is spent. You know, and I think from a councillor point of view, I think it should be left to the organisations. What's the point of us giving money and then saying to these organisations, you should use it on this? I think they are well versed in where this money should go and how it should be spent, and I think it should be left to them. You know, LCAP's well versed; they know exactly the clientele, and far be it for me to say, you know, that's my view. Sorry for butting in.
Councillor Elvin.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, before we go any further, could we have the clerk's opinion on this and the feasibility of it and if it's a correct thing that we can do? I think we need to clarify that first.
Ask me a specific.
We discussed that this afternoon, Graham, about giving churches and you can't. We looked at that this afternoon, if you recall.
Right. I mean, the report that was tabled tonight gives you the framework to have the discussion and to make a decision upon. Section 137 of the Local Government Act gives the council some freedoms to spend some money, and it's up to the council really to determine how much and where to. The mechanics of that could also be discussed. You may, for example, but it would extend any timescales you're talking about, seek invitations or bids, whatever you care to call them, for a predetermined pot of money. You do have some flexibilities on this. The one suggestion that's come forward tonight, which I'm not 100% on, somebody suggested that perhaps Hetton Nursery gets some funding. I'm not quite sure what their status is and whether or not they would fit into the sort of the targeting that the council seems to be wanting to take.
The water snapper wanted to come in there.
Yeah, I think I've given it a lot of thought, and the way I thought of it was that these community groups have been dealing with this pandemic situation now for 9-10 months. If anybody knows where the need is, it's these groups. They're on they're working at grassroots with these people. They know, they can identify, and I think to then start and dictate, well, this is to buy such and such, and this is to buy that. I really think you've either got to make the gift, make it a donation to these people who are working hard. I think they're fantastic, the work they're doing. They know where that money can be spent and what they can do with it. It's an additional gift at Christmas to give a family a little bit extra that they won't have.
There's Councillor Willis.
No, Town Clerk wants to come in first.
So just to alert you, Councillor Dodds wishes to speak again.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Councillor Dodds. Yeah.
Madam Chair, we know of LCAP and the Apostolic Hetton New Dawn. Do we know what groups are over East Drayton? Can Councillor Coulson and Councillor Farrell help with that?
Well, a new group was set up in East Drayton a year or more ago now, but it wasn't set up along the same lines as the ones you've already been mentioning, like LCAP or New Dawn or so on. It was more to facilitate activities rather than providing extra help to families in need. But it's quite likely that the people organising that would know where help, and I think it would be very useful to consider asking them. They have their ears to the ground, they know where families are who might be in need. And I wouldn't like to refuse them that opportunity of having some of this funding that's available. They may say, they may say it's not needed, that there's greater need elsewhere, but we shouldn't prejudge the situation.
No. Councillor Coulson?
Well, I was agreeing with part of that, as Councillor Farrell said, but they are just groups dealing with activities, so I don't know whether they've got the knowledge to know who the poor families are. I don't think
If I can just come back, a couple of years ago, I was part of a group who was serving meals during the school summer holidays to families in East Rainton where the children were on free school meals. And that was done via the Methodist Church in East Rainton. And I'm sure there are people there who would know, but I don't want to judge that. I'm sure that if we get in touch with people in East Rainton, they may be able to say, yes, please, we can use some of that, or no, thank you, we can't. And we should let them decide.
Well, can we have a name, Councillor Farrell? We've mentioned East Rainton, but we didn't know who to contact.
Yes, I can. I don't want to give their names out at this meeting without consulting them first. I will do that tomorrow, and I'll let the town clerk know. Is that the best way to go forward?
Thank you. Yes.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Dodds.
Could I make a suggestion that the groups that we've spoken about tonight, that we offer, say, I don't know, £500 to each of the groups?
Yeah, that was my thought.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, can we hear from Councillor Willis? She's had a hand up for ages.
Yes, Councillor Willis, sorry.
It's just going way back about, I don't know, 20 minutes. Just say that, I'm one of them that does all the cooking and stuff for LCAP, for all these people. And I've been doing holiday hunger for kids for the past 3 years. I think we started with about 4 families and ended up with about 50. And obviously, it's up to about 100. So, we do have a good idea. And plus, the schools, the local schools, through all the COVID, the schools can also alert us to families that they are very aware of. So, such as East Rainton, that community group, they might not know, but school might. Because school has a good idea of who is,
Exactly.
is suffering.
That was the point of using existing providers.
Councillor Elvin?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, could I suggest that if we could do something, we get our skates on, because time's flying, and if you have to decide who fits the criteria as laid down by Graham in the paper he gave us, we're going to have some work needs to be done to get it sorted out quickly. Thank you.
That's why the two that we looked at were providers that we know provide it, and they've got the safeguards there to do it. That's why we looked at them particular providers, Councillor Elvin.
Well, Madam Mayor, could I suggest that somebody puts a proposal forward, somebody that's been working on this?
Can I put a proposal forward that we move ahead then on at least these 2 groups, Susan?
Which 2 groups?
Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Waterson has been trying to get in.
He has. Yeah. I've said her, but Councillor Geddes keeps interrupting.
I've been drinking milk. Goat's milk.
Yeah.
Been drinking something. Right, Councillor Waterson.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, Councillor Elvin, I think I agree with you. We need to get something down tonight if we can get an agreement. I propose that we offer a gift donation to LCAP, to the Apostolic Church, whether that's, and I think that does include New Dawn. I think they are working together. I have spoken to someone at the Apostolic. I think we could propose those two, and could we keep East Drayton until Councillor Farrer gets the name of the person, the person we contact in East Drayton, so that we can possibly offer them a similar donation if the circumstances are favourable. By that I mean they can identify that they have needy families at this moment in time. That's what I would suggest now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll certainly do that, but I'm not convinced that New Dawn and the Apostolic Church is one and the same. I think they do.
Yeah, I think they're separate as well.
And they are separate, and I think they should be treated separately. So I would suggest 3. That would be New Dawn, LCAP, and the Apostolic Church, with the
possibility of the 4th.
Yes, I think that's the way to go.
Fine. Yeah. Okay, we've got a proposal on the table. So
Yeah, I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Councillor,
sorry,
Clark,
before
sorry,
it is sorry. It
Yes,
is to help
Councillor
them with
Dodds.
£500. This that we agreeing to, isn't it? 500 each.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank
By
you.
organisation.
Right. So can I just come back here? The maths isn't adding up here, because we're now talking about potentially 4 groups of £500 each. So that's £2,000. But the figure that was identified before was the Hargreaves money, which is £1,490.
Yes, it was 1,500 quid, yeah.
Sorry, how much was the Hargreaves money?
1,490.
But we have the COVID money as well from Sunderland Council, don't we?
There's that money, and there's also money still in the Community Grant Award Scheme, which has been set aside.
Yeah, I think we could use
Madam
that.
Mayor,
It's 510. Yeah, £510. That was the drift. If you know. Yeah.
well, Madam Mayor, can I suggest that we've had a proposal and a seconder. It's £500. It's 3, possibly 4. It's a proposal and a seconder on the table. Could I ask that we vote on it?
Yeah. I'm in favour.
Right. Can I just go through my screen on this, please? Yes. Those in favour: Councillor Waterston.
Yes.
Councillor Pearson.
Yes.
Councillor Coulson.
Yes.
Councillor Farrow.
Yes.
Councillor Elvin.
Yes.
Councillor Willis.
I allowed.
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, of course.
Councillor Geddes.
Yes.
Councillor Rome.
Yes.
Councillor Dodds.
Yes.
Councillor Defty.
Councillor Defty.
Yeah, he's there.
Sorry, I didn't see you there, Councillor Defty. Okay, that's unanimous. So I'm absolutely clear. £500 each to 3 predetermined groups: LCAP, Apostolic Church, and New Dawn, and a further 500 for an unidentified group in East Drayton.
Yeah, if necessary.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I just have some slight concerns about the mechanics of East Drayton. How am I going to know, and how am I going to get approval for the group? Or we're just accepting that when it's notified, that's a done deal?
Get in touch with them tomorrow. I know that the group was set up relatively recently. They may or may not have a bank account, I don't know, but I will find out tomorrow and get back to you as soon as I can.
Great, thank you very much.
Yep. Okay.
Jolly good. Are we concluded on item 11?
Yeah.
Okay, item 12. This is just brief. Back in, I think it was either June or July, Council agreed in the height of lockdown to relax the deadlines which are associated with the Community Grant Award Scheme. And it was agreed that we extended to take applications throughout the summer, September and October. Well, we're now in November, and really I'm asking Council tonight if they would wish to consider further extending those deadlines on a monthly basis, potentially even until the end of the financial year.
I'm in favour of that.
Madam Mayor, could I propose that we extend it through to the end of the
Seconded.
financial year?
Second that.
Yes, agree.
Agree.
Unanimous again, that looks like to me. Any dissent? Okay.
Happy families.
Great. Item 13, Christmas in Hetton District. I've put this on the agenda. There's not a supporting paper. It's really to bring members up to date with some feedback I've had from the City Council. If you recall, where was it? It was the Events Committee meeting. It was about looking at an additional tree for the mini park. And I was asked to explore with the City Council the practicalities of going ahead. I've had some feedback late this afternoon from the City Council. In terms of getting a license to put a tree there, I don't think that's problematical at all from the comments I've had back from Sunderland City Council. But there are some other issues which Council needs to think about this evening. One of the queries I flagged up was about the power supply, and I've been advised that the tree socket and power supply should be okay to use, but the charges for the electricity usage will be billed to the Town Council on estimated consumption. There are issues around if we're to get a tree, who would actually dress it and illuminate it. The City Council have advised that Balfour BT would be able to do that on a rechargeable basis, but it would take up to 2 to 3 weeks to do that. We're in the middle of November now. We would also have to actually buy a tree. The alternative is that the council's building services could do the tree dressing, but they don't have any lights, and they would have to be ordered in. So I think that's going to take us quite a way down the road. So there's a few things there just to think about. Do you want me to approach Balfour BT to get a cost from them? And at this stage, I don't know what that might be. We don't have a tree. We don't have a cost for a tree. I think the feedback I'm getting is, yes, it can be done, but we'll have to act pretty sharpish.
Madam Mayor, could I ask that the clerk gets a quote from both Sunderland City Council's department and Balfour BT? We know what the tree will cost. It depends whether it's going to be extortionate to address it.
Can I just come in there? I'm going over Hetton Country Park tomorrow to walk the dog.
Chop the tree down?
Yes. I was joking, by the way.
I know, that's so much.
Oh God.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think that was it generally on Christmas. I was also asked at the previous meeting to establish funding arrangements as well from the City Council. What I have been able to establish is that money which was set aside earlier in the year for each of the area committees, it's been spent already on Christmas illuminations. And if I remember rightly, I think the money which is allocated to the Coalfields Area Committee has gone between Houghton and Shiny Row.
Yeah.
Out again. The other thing that was flagged up, and I'll pick this up with Councillor Turner, is she did undertake to provide a community chest application form. So I will follow that up, and it may be that we can have some funding to potentially for lights for a Christmas tree in the mini park.
Can I just say I've had complaints about the main Christmas tree lights already?
Well, I think
tonight. Well, I've just had some complaints about them.
Can I just ask, because the other comment I was going to make was that the lights at the 3 locations, Hetton, East Drayton and Moorsley, will be switched on Thursday, the 19th this week.
It's on now?
They're on now. But there's a big gap in the one in Hetton. There's a big dark shadow on one side of the one at the Hetton Nursery.
That's right. That's what they'll...
Councillor Alvin, speak to me.
Yes,
can you just, we need to speak earlier, can you just chase Sunderland City Council about repairing and reinstating the coloured lights in the trees that are hanging there?
Thank
you. Get them back on along with the lights we've got back on, it'll make things a little bit more cheerful.
What, the mini park?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I just quickly come in on one more thing? I really think I would like to thank Kevin Hoskin for the Remembrance Day video that he did for us free of charge.
Yes, it was absolutely
He did a good
fantastic.
job. And I'd just like to thank him on behalf of the town council. I think.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, would it be appropriate to ask the clerk, I know he doesn't need any extra work, to send a letter of thanks on behalf of the town council to him for doing that fantastic job? And while he's at it, would he consider sending one to JT Doves for donating the special cement to fix them, and to John Manders, the showman, who kindly stored them for us and then transported them back to the site when they were ready for erection.
Can I just add to that, Councillor Elvin? And you can thank me for your bacon sandwich that you didn't pay for.
What about Ian Woods, who did the signing?
Yes, that was
who?
Yes, that was
Ian Woods.
And
and send a thank you. I'm sorry, Madam Mayor. Just send a thank you to everybody, because it was a real community effort. And I've said all along that this is what parish and town councils are really about: getting the community together and all working together to do something, for the benefit of the residents. So, whoever helped, if the town clerk could send them a letter, I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
I love Christmas, mate.
Okay.
Right. The next item, 14, Town Mayor Fund. I have spoken to Councillor Pearson. In view of the heavy schedule tonight, and I had wanted to produce a very short paper on this topic, I would just like to ask Council to agree to defer this item.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you. Item 15. We're flying now. Rural Market Town Group. Councillor Elvin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll keep it very brief. I attended the meeting, the Zoom meeting. It's a special interest group of the Local Government Association, and it discusses issues without reference to any party politics. The idea is to bring together different areas which they feel are underrepresented and should have a voice. Well, to cut it short, they're going to start sending a bulletin every month, which I shall pass on. But they don't think they're planning on having another meeting for 6 months. And so at the moment, I'm not sure whether this will actually be something that I could recommend that would be worth our while after our free period of membership. It's early days yet, but with very infrequent meetings, and I'm not really quite sure, it didn't really come out of it, what they were going to help us achieve. They did a good practice survey live on Zoom, which was very impressive. Mr. Town Clerk, maybe you could look into that. We all interacted and answered questions, and of course they all came up with roughly the same things that we all had problems with, but there was no real proposals as yet on how they were going to help us overcome it. So I think watch this space. I'll attend any future meetings they have, and when I get the first bulletin, I'll send it for everybody for consideration. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, item 16 are 3 planning applications. If there are no questions for Councillor Elvin.
Nope.
Thank you.
Oh, what's happened here? Right, you have 3 planning applications. The first one refers to the Tavistock Day Nursery. And this is, I think this is a request for advertising consent rather than a planning application. Any views at all?
Yes, may I, Madam Mayor, Councillor Rowan here. Yeah, I'm a bit confused by this because there are 2 signs, well, there are 3 signs there. In fact, there are 4 signs there at the moment. I'm just confused by it. And the only thing I will say is I wasn't sure if it was just because there was a new company taking over that there hadn't been a planning application before for the signs. And I did look back on the planning website and I couldn't see any. So I'm not quite sure. But I don't mind any of the signs apart from the one that's going to be in Front Street on a post where the crossing is near the bus stop, for 2 reasons. One, it would be a distraction, I think, to motorists and pedestrians there to have it so low down instead of having it up on the wall where it already is. And secondly, it obscures the blue plaque when you're walking along the street.
Used more than ever now.
Any other views from members?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'm totally confused by this. It's very vague. I don't really know what they mean by 3 non-illuminated post signs.
Are there? It's an advert on 2 posts.
What, sorry, Councillor Rome?
The signs are the same size as the signs already on the building, but one is going to be lower down and not on the side wall, and then there's 2 around the corner where there are signs already, but it's just a different.
Why is it necessary to have more? I don't like the idea of that. I don't think it looks good to have a load of signage on your front street.
It's not more. It's instead of.
So they're taking. So sorry. They're taking what's there down to put
taking
these.
all the signs down and replacing them with new signs. Because this is a new
right.
company that owns them.
Right.
But one of them, instead of being on the wall as you come, on the wall to the left and above the blue plaque, they want to put that lower down against the railings near where you cross the road, where that narrow bit where you cross, where they got.
Right.
Which I just think it's a very bright sign. I think it'll detract the eye from traffic, from pedestrians, and it's obscuring the blue plaque.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally agree, Councillor. Yeah.
So how do we wish to proceed?
I would suggest we have a comment on the application that we're happy with all the signage apart from the one I just mentioned for the reasons I've outlined.
I'll come back to you on that one, if that's all right. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other views from members?
Madam Chair, isn't that location where there's normally an advertisement board anyway?
No.
I'm sure that's where the gym normally advertises it. There's normally an advertisement as you're crossing the road straight in front of you on the fence.
Which gym announcement?
You mean a banner? A banner, Councillor Dodds?
Banner on the corner.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Well, do the banners have to get planning permission?
No, I think they have to have. Is it you have to get onto highways or somewhere to have permission to put them up, but they're not permanent. We had to do that when we were advertising the Lantern Parade. Councillor Geddes, was it the highways we had to confirm we could put it up on the? Yeah, and it wasn't a permanent.
No.
Well, if you look at the documents online, they've got a picture of the side of the building, and where the road crosses, and you can see this, the old sign is up on the wall. They're intending to remove that and replace it with one lower down. They've actually got a photograph, and when they've taken the photograph, that sign obscures the blue plaque, and that's what I object to. And so it's very bright, and I just think it'll distract the eye. And I can never recall seeing a plaque there. I always a sign there tied to the railing. I thought that was further round on the on the bend.
Yeah, I think it is sort of going up towards Caroline Street.
Caroline Street on that corner. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's not a permanent. It's not classed as a permanent sign. That you don't have to have planning for them. So I would agree with Councillor Elvin. Councillor Rowan, sorry. I do agree with Councillor Elvin sometimes, but.
Freudian slip there, Councillor.
Sorry.
Next one.
Street, Hetton Hall. Change of officers and creation of three-bed apartments.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have something to say about this. Right. Planning approval was given to creating 2-bedroom apartments with a new entrance on this building in 2015. Creation of they'll still have shop fronts where the old Herons was. But the people who applied, or who owned the building and who applied for planning permission, didn't go ahead. So this is a new one, and this is for 3 apartments plus shops at the front. Now on the planning portal, one of the engineers has said there's no provision for parking, and he's quite correct. There's no provision for parking whatsoever here. Although there's loads of parking down the little alleyway between the old Crown Pub and the Undertakers. So I actually have no objection to this, because I think a building's an absolute eyesore and we need to get it smartened up and helping the town centre look good.
I know that road between the shops and round behind the thing is actually unadopted.
Can I just...
No, not that one, Madam Mayor. If you go down the alley between where the Crown was and the Undertakers, you've got it's a Station Road, isn't it? Or Railway Street.
It's where the Crown was.
Railway Street.
There's loads of parking there.
I mean, that was my point when I wanted to come in, because I would have no problem with this, because I agree with Councillor Rowan that, we don't want empty buildings. But I don't know how feasible this is. Can we just put a caveat on that he tarmacs that road as you go in?
What was that caveat?
Can he tarmac the road, that unadopted road, as part of the deal?
Get some Section 106 money from them, you mean?
No, just like as part of the deal. Ask him if he's prepared to tarmac.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Councillor Elvin? You're on.
Yes, I agree with a lot of what's been said, especially the parking and what have you. My only concern is I think three-bedroomed apartments seems somewhat overdeveloped.
Yeah.
For me, considering the size and the footprint of the building, that's an awful lot of space. Well, I don't know. I'm sure if I applied for it, I wouldn't give me it. But I just think it's a bit overdeveloped. I think 2 beds would work fine. Maybe even 2 3-beds, but not
2 3-beds.
I beg your pardon, Councillor Deputy.
2 3-beds. 2 3-beds would be better.
Yeah. No, I think I personally think it's my comment would be I believe it's overdeveloped.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Well, I would wish to see it renovated and sorted out ASAP. But, you know,
Yeah.
I'm concerned about it being overdeveloped.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Shall we comment? Shall we make that comment then, or?
Yep. Yes.
It's not an objection, it's just a comment.
Sorry?
Not an objection, it's just a comment.
No,
it should be an objection, shouldn't it?
An objection.
Yeah, I think an objection. Yeah.
Objection, yeah. We've got, well,
On grounds
object.
that it's just too big, it's just too small.
Yeah.
For 3, yeah.
Concerns, yeah.
Right, yo.
Agreed.
Your last planning application coming up now. Hetton Lions Cricket Club.
I have no comments or objections. I don't know anything about roofs.
Could I speak there?
Yes, fine.
Yeah, tell you what it is. It's the old roof is leaking badly, and it contains asbestos. So it's the removal of the asbestos and the steel framework, and they're just putting a new roof on, and it's grey instead of red. There's no height difference. It's like for like for a different colour.
Yeah.
I have no objections.
Neither of us.
No. No objection.
Right, thank you. The next item is general correspondence.
Reg has got his hand up.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Councillor Coulson, you are on mute. You have to take yourself off. That's it.
No objections.
After all that.
Just saying he's awake.
Right. The penultimate item is a general correspondence. Yeah. This first item of correspondence is a query which has come in from the City Council on Friday. And it refers to an application which we considered, I think it was in May time this year, about Ned's Cottage. And the City Council have advised me that they've been trying to contact me for some time on this one, and I haven't received anything from them until Friday, and I've realised they've been sending it to an incorrect email address. They're asking the Town Council to reconsider and allow the local planning authority to proceed with the determination of this application. Now, my recollection was that the Town Council had wanted a site visit. There was some controversy or some element of confusion about this site. I can't quite recall, it was some time ago, but we haven't had a site visit because we've been in lockdown. But we've had a specific request from the City Council where we'll reconsider and allow the planning authority to proceed with the determination. What are your views, please?
Well, Councillor Rome here, may I speak?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Yeah, I know this property very well and I remember this. The application form did not mention the fact that the property already had a garage. It also didn't mention and I just felt that it was being a bit, I suppose, deceitful by applying to build a garage on the other plot of land which has got a covenant on it which said no building should be erected, and that's why I wanted a site visit in conjunction with Sunderland City Plan so they could see the layout of the property, where the existing garage is and where the division between this additional piece of land on where they want to build the garage, on which there's a covenant saying no building should be. So I think that the application form needs to be resubmitted correctly, or we have a site visit to discuss it.
Totally agree. Totally agree, Councillor. Go on.
Okay.
So no, we don't agree to letting them
No,
just
we
go
don't.
and
No,
make
we
a
don't.
decision on it.
Right. I think from memory, a potential sticking point here was about the site visit, because the city council wanted to accompany any site visit. And I don't know how that's going to be arranged during the lockdown period.
Well, may I suggest that the city council writes to the applicant and says, we understand that the application form does not have full disclosure, and that property already has a garage.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Fine with that one. The next item, just for information, I sent this out on the 11th of November, and it was a notification of funding to voluntary and community organisations. Members have had that, just for information. Do you just want to note that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one, just an email I had from a member of the public, unhappy with, sorry, I've just pinged here, bear with me a moment. Another member of the public joining. Yeah, this is a complaint from a member of the public about the councillor. I've just signposted it to Sunderland City Council. That just requires noting it's outside of our jurisdiction.
That would be me.
Campaign to Protect Rural England newsletter that was sent around on the 2nd of November. And we've had a few bits and bobs from the County Durham Association of Local Councils. Remembrance commemorations, there's quite a bit of correspondence that was circulated and discussed. Time expired now, just for noting. I've also sent out earlier this afternoon some information about Standards Matter, a public consultation. This one bamboozled me when it first came in, because if you remember, we had a consultation on the Local Government Association's review of the Code of Conduct. This is a separate consultation. Members can, on an individual basis, have a look at that and send in their own representations, or the council can send something in as a corporate body. But I don't know what your views are, if anybody's had a chance to have a look at it today. Don't all rush at once.
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Madam Mayor, I'm waving my hand at you.
I can see. Oh, now I can see you, Councillor Elvin. Yes.
Well, first of all, I would suggest that we all respond to this. I'm sure we've all got our own views on the 7 principles of public life, and are they being upheld in life today? And I'll leave it at that on that one. It might be difficult for us all to do it as a collective, because there may be, we might be here all night, and we might be have some differing views on that.
Can I just make an observation here? Sorry, Councillor Elvin. I did speak to the County Durham Association of Local Councils this afternoon about this, because, as I say, I was unclear in my own mind how it differed from the LGA consultation. If it's any help to members, they've had no submissions to them at this stage.
Well, I suppose
No,
whatever.
my individual members can't apply, but they've had no responses from individual parish or town councils as a group.
Well, you've only just found out about it, haven't you?
But I've had it a little while, and the closing date's the end of this month, so there's a little time to review it. But all I'm saying is, as at this stage, the County Durham Association of Local Councils hasn't had any feedback.
Well, I would say I should certainly fill it in and pass my comments. But as I say, to do it as a collective, then maybe we might be here all night to get a consensus.
Isn't that the organisation that me and Councillor Waterson's taken part?
Yeah. Strongly.
So I didn't hear that last bit there, Councillor Garris.
And isn't that the Zoom meeting myself and Councillor Waters attended this week? That particular.
No, I'm coming on to that in a minute.
I didn't.
I said, is that
heard it when I got to the top of the lane? My ears were hurting.
Sorry, somebody's ears are hurting. Right. Okay. The final. So sorry. Views on Standards Matter. Individual councillors to respond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Grand.
Yes, I would suggest that.
Right. The final item is just for information. It's the larger councils forum this Thursday, to which councillors Gaddison, Waterson normally attend. And I have already circulated to members, albeit this afternoon, a copy of the draft minutes from the July meeting.
Madam Mayor?
Yes?
Can I just raise something I should have raised before and it's just jumped into my head? And I would like anybody to comment on this one. And it's non-contentious, so don't worry. We have a homeless guy in the middle of Hetton in the bus station.
Stop.
Now, I spoke to him yesterday, and I know the police have asked him 7 times to move on. He's only 38. You call him Paul, and he's from Newcastle, and he's a lovely lad. He is a lovely lad. If there's anybody, if there's anybody can forward to the town clerk or to myself or anybody, an organisation where this guy can get some accommodation, that would be great. That would be great, because I don't want to see anybody in a bus shelter in winter. I think it's deplorable. So I would appreciate any help that anybody can give.
Yes, Councillor Waterston.
Yeah, Councillor Geddes, I'm sorry I didn't mention this to you, but about 2 weeks ago I was approached by a member of the public who had met the guy in the mini park and had a good chat with him. And I passed on all of the telephone numbers. I contacted a few people and got telephone numbers from them. They were all passed on to the gentleman. Unfortunately, I think it's not quite as clear cut. I really don't want to say too much about
I know I've spoken to him about his problem, Councillor Watson. Exactly, and I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
because we've all got issues.
He has been in certain places, and he hasn't adhered to rules, and he's lost his place. It's a very difficult situation, but there is someone who's looked into it,
right,
and has tried to help. So you know,
again,
have tried
you
to
know,
address it.
Again, you know, if anybody's got any information, I'll take it forward, because I spoke to him yesterday, and a friend of mine took him bacon and mushroom sandwiches down, and took him across to Greg's, and he could have filled his boots and he didn't. And at the end of the day, I think we can all fall on hard times, and just because he's refused help once, you know, I don't think anybody should give up on him. So, you know.
Councillor Rowe.
Okay.
Councillor Rowe.
I wonder if social services are aware of him, are they? Do we know?
Yes, he's been on the books of a number of different local organisations. And there's been, I don't really want to discuss it on an open meeting like this, but, you know, he has been approached. He has had various...
He's from Newcastle originally, Councillor Rowan. That's why he's from Newcastle, from Tynemouth, actually.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. It's not quite as clear cut as
No, I know for a fact, that one of our, I suppose, Richard and I's colleagues up the road, where they stored the poles, I know one of them said they might be able to help, but I haven't gotten back to them yet, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Your final item is just to the date and time of the next meeting, which is Monday, the 21st of December.
Longest day.
Will there be an extraordinary meeting before that?
Yes, as I alluded to before, we'll have to have an extraordinary this month for the purposes of the annual return. I'll be in touch on that one, but the next
is the
schedule is the 21st of December.
And I can't bring any Christmas cake this year. Sorry, Councillor.
I was just going to say, Madam Mayor, must keep up tradition.
I'm told as well that at the moment Christmas is been unknown because Santa's elf isolating.
Oh. That's that joke is cool.
Yes.
It's cool.
What's my darling?
Oh, who's that remark to?
Who said that?
I don't know, but I think it's time to go.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Greg.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, councillors.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody attending.
Thanks to members of the public for their perseverance as well.
Thank you. I'm sure.
Good night.
Good night.
Broke the record tonight. We broke the record.